On behalf of JP Morgan Chase, we'd like to wish you all
Happy Veterans Day.
Okay, gotcha. Welcome back to the heart of New York City.
Oh, it is a glorious day. We're outside the public library, and thousands of people are lining the parade route here in New York City. But we are being seen across the country, Greg Kelly.
Yes, it's thrilling for us local anchors here in New York City. We do a show called Good Day New York on Channel 5, but we welcome folks joining us on the Armed Forces Network, on Baltimore, MyTV Baltimore, Chicago, My50, Dallas, Fort Worth, My27, Houston, My20. They gave us a great shout-out earlier, Texas style.
Yeah, Minneapolis, St. Paul, My29, Los Angeles, My13, Orlando, Daytona Beach, My65, I believe it is, Phoenix, My45, Washington, D.C., My27, and online as well.
Korean War veterans walking by, marching by from Nassau County, for those outside of New York, or a long way away. Nassau County, a big county just east of New York City on Long Island. Happens to be my home county.
Korean War veterans, you know, they call it the Forgotten War, but you just have to look at North and South Korea today to determine, to say, you know, it was worth it. It was worth being there.
And technically, Ed, tell me, it's not over? I mean, something...
No, it's not really over. It's really, it's an armistice which has existed since the 1950s. It's not really, you know, a war that's officially over. You know, it was while we were, I think, talking to the general, the Medal of Honor float went by, and that is makes you want to stand up and salute. And we're going to meet several of them, Medal of Honor recipients later, and that's I can't wait for that. That's always thrilling.
Every now and then I'm corrected on Medal of Honor winner or Medal of Honor recipient, and it's, of course, Medal of Honor recipient. It's not something you win.
No.
But as I try to tell them, those who correct those who get it wrong, it doesn't come up that often in the military, you know, because you don't see them every day. It is such a rare, unusual.
It's so rare, and it's so unusual. We're going to have, I think, 5 or 6 of them here, and we're going to talk. We're going to interview several of them. It's just amazing. Woody Williams is here. Actually, Woody Williams is here. Woody Williams is a Marine from Iwo Jima. He's the last surviving Medal of Honor recipient, of which there are several from Iwo Jima. And I'm also looking forward to meeting Tom Kelly. Tom Kelly, I was a Riverine in the Riverine Force in Vietnam, as was Tom Kelly, and I look forward to meeting him.
And
I've never met him.
More recently, Leroy Petrie of the U.S. Army.
I had lunch with him the other day.
No kidding.
What an amazing guy. Just a regular heartland kid.
Now, this came from action in Afghanistan?
Action in Afghanistan. He lost his hand. He was, they were in a defensive position. He was protecting his troops. They were behind a wall. A hand grenade came over the wall. He grabbed the grenade and threw it over the wall, and it went off and blew off his hand. And he is one of 2 men who are still in active duty, even though they were gravely wounded.
Wow. Well, we're also recognizing the women in the military today, in the Army, correct?
Yes, we are. But
all right.
I was distracted because a Navy
I know you gentlemen both
by.
served in the military, and I just want to,
well,
put it out there.
General Dunwoody.
That's
oh my
right.
God, a 4-star general. I'm sitting next to her.
That's fantastic. Well, we're so happy, and we salute both of you, Ed and Greg, both who served in the military.
Thank you, Ro.
Antoine Lewis joins us from 5th Avenue.
Greg and Rosanna, good morning. Good morning, everyone that's watching. Ed as well. We are joined with a very special person standing next to me. Fred the Hammer Williamson. You may know him from his prowess on the football field. You may know him from movies. And one of the very first movies I saw, sir, was actually 3 the Hard Way. My mom and dad took me to go see that.
Yeah.
But you are here for a very special reason. When the Marine Corps walked by, you immediately stood at attention and saluted. Just tell us about your connection.
Yeah, I'm a 7-year Marine. I'm a former Marine, Paris Island. So, you know, that's why I got involved being a spokesperson for the Wounded Warrior Project, because I identify and I sympathize, and that's really kind of what it's all about for me.
You're an original Oakland Raider. When you decided to enlist and decided to go, how did you decide on Marines?
The halls of Montezuma music took me right to the signing. I signed up as soon as I heard the music, man. The halls of Montezuma did it for me.
Right there.
Yeah.
What else do you think needs to be done? A lot of people, you're so passionate about the Wounded Warriors Project, but what more should be done with regards to it?
Well, people just have to understand that the government can't do everything for us. So we have to do something personally for these guys. This organization does that. It fulfills the need that these guys come home. I mean, the fact that 10 or 12 of these guys commit suicide every month is embarrassing. It's terrible that these guys should do that. They should be in this situation that they feel that they have to commit suicide in order to survive in American society after coming home and being a hero. That's not right.
Fred the Hammer Williamson, thank you so much for stopping by, for being a part of America's parade today. Continued success to you, and thank you again for your service. I know you've been waiting, and you can get back in that line now.
I'm cold, that's why.
All right, before we go to break, a special shout out to Ron Schmidt, 20-year Army veteran, served in Vietnam, father of my colleague Linda Schmidt. Thank you, sir, for your service. Thank you for your daughter, and we'll see you right after this break, everyone.
Hi, I'm Montgomery County Executive Ike Lake. I'm a Vietnam veteran and the elected leader of a jurisdiction with more than 1 million people that is adjacent to our nation's capital. I know how important it is to make sure that the men and women who serve our country receive the recognition and benefits they deserve. Here in Montgomery County, we have a commission on Veterans Affairs and a network of services that help our veterans transition back into civilian life. With their skills and experience, veterans make a major contribution to this community's ongoing success. We are proud to be a part of America's parade, and we are proud of our veterans. Montgomery County, Maryland salutes our vets.
Hey, what's up? This is Carlos Boozer, Chicago Bulls. Man, I just want to say thank you to all my veterans out there. We love y'all. We support y'all. Thank y'all for protecting us and our families here in our beautiful USA country. We love y'all. When y'all come home, we'll be here to celebrate y'all. And we hope that God keeps you safe while you over there. God bless.
And this is the Albert de Grace High School Band going by. Albert de Grace, Maryland. You know, the World War II veterans float just went by, and there weren't that many veterans on it. And you know, they are indeed the greatest generation, and they are leaving us at a rapid rate. And God, it's so great to see them being able to turn out and be at an event like this and be thanked again.
Do we have some Purple Heart recipients on this float as well?
Oh, I think they're probably all Purple Heart recipients.
Let's see, the Military Order of the Purple Heart is composed of military men and women who received the Purple Heart Medal for wounds suffered in combat. It was chartered by Congress back in 1958. And on the float, Purple Heart recipients and their families.
That's so nice. It is a perfect day to honor our men and women in the military. New York City is alive. Thousands of people lining the parade route along Fifth Avenue.
It's a little unusual, and it's November 11th, and that is when Veterans Day is supposed to fall. I mean, it's actually on a Monday. We can do it right just after a weekend.
That's right.
Perfect.
You know, George, speaking of the Purple Heart, George Washington created the Purple Heart as a award of merit in the 1700s, and it has evolved since then, and it is, it's like you said about you were talking earlier, nobody tries to win the Purple Heart. It's everybody honors Medal of Honor, Purple Heart recipients.
The parade started on 23rd Street. It goes north on 5th Avenue. Traffic normally flows south, but the parades go north all the way up to 56th Street. 56th Street here in Manhattan, and the crowds are substantial. We've been doing this for about 4 years now. Bigger crowds than I think we've seen in previous years, perhaps.
Yeah, it seems really big this year. I mean, 20,000 people marching in the parade as well.
Over 200 individual units.
And marching under the watchful eye of General Ray Odierno.
Right.
Is kind of overseeing everything from our bandstand across the street. Let's go to Elise Witt. She is a special guest.
Okay, I am here with Miss Veteran America, Elena Guitron. So exciting to have you with us. Tell us about your title in the program.
Well, Miss Veteran America, I just was crowned 3 weeks ago, and the whole purpose and intent behind Miss Veteran America is to be the national spokesperson for Final Salute, Inc., and it's a nonprofit organization that was created by Jasmine Booth, who was actually former Army herself and was homeless.
And you are Army as well.
What's that?
You are Army as well.
Yes, I'm active duty Army. Been serving for 13 years. Yes.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Now, what will the mission be for your year?
Well, it's still kind of new to me, so I'm still trying to figure it out as I go. But my heart's in it, my passion's in it. My mother used to be homeless as well, so I have a deep passion for it, which is one of the reasons why I decided to compete. So basically, my job is to basically go out and speak to you, speak to the world, and let the world know that the female population is for veterans is growing much faster rate than any other population of homeless. So it's disheartening to me, and that's why I have a passion for doing this and going out and speaking on behalf. So
Definitely. Well, this year we honor service. We honor women in the military. So it's an honor to have you. What does it mean to you to be here?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just thoroughly humbled. Never a day in my life did I actually think that I would be here. So it's very personal to me. I'm very humbled by this entire experience, and I know that I have big shoes to fill. So,
well, thank you so much. Thank you for all you're going to do, and good luck in the rest of your year.
Thank you, Elise. Appreciate it.
Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you so much,
That
Elise.
was great. There was just a small float went by, and it's a hospice float, and there is a joint venture in New York between hospice and the Veterans Administration, which is, if you think about it, which is a really cool thing where the VA and hospice team up to provide care, end-of-life care for
Ed,
veterans.
I want you to look at this. These are all people carrying, I guess, their loved ones' photos.
Oh,
it's at
my.
the Spirit of 45.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a very emotional scene.
A lot of them are women.
A lot of them are women.
A lot of them are women.
And,
a lot of
you know,
pictures.
this woman who was just speaking recently about her mom being homeless when she came back, that's not the first person who said that to us along the parade route this morning.
Do you know that General Dunwoody, we just spoke, she is the 3rd flag officer in her family.
Wow.
How about that? And the most senior.
By the way, the Spirit of 45, we have young people and Boys and Girl Scouts carrying posters of World War II
Look,
veterans.
Ernest Borgnine.
Marty?
The actor.
Yes.
Marty?
He was
His actor.
Yeah, he was a veteran. Yeah, absolutely.
Who left us not very long ago, actually, just within the past few years, the late Ernest Borgnine. Great man.
It's great to see kids marching, but Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, just kids. It's just great.
Ed, why did you join the military?
My dad had been, my family's in the military going back to the Civil War. My great-great-grandfather fought at Gettysburg. And,
wow.
Yep, fought at Gettysburg. And my grandfather was in service. My dad was a medical officer in the Navy. He was a hero at Okinawa, treating the wounded on the open decks as kamikazes crashed in on his ship. So it's part of the family. And he told me to join the Navy, not the Marines. He said, join the Navy because you'll always have a warm bunk and a hot meal. Next thing I knew, I was end up in Cambodia,
oh, gosh.
with rats eating my socks when I was sleeping.
Really?
I can see why a descendant of Gettysburg, though, would seek the Navy. He made it out of Gettysburg, I hope, by the way.
You know what? He was taken prisoner and he was repatriated. And he years later, he became a doctor.
Is this you, Ed, by the way?
That was me on one of my patrol boats. And years later, he became a country doctor, and he created a pneumonia product called Vicks Pneumonia Cure, which became VapoRub.
Are you rich?
Yes. No, I'm not. No.
That's your family?
That's my family. But let me tell you this.
The Vicks lozenges and everything?
Rick just
All
became, Ed's our new best friend.
But I've got no money because, I'll tell you why, because his brother-in-law was a pharmacist. And he said, let me put your stuff up in my pharmacy. Long story short, that side of the family got all the money.
Oh,
We got
probably
the
not
name.
speaking to them anymore.
They have a big, they have a big house in Greenwich, and they don't invite me.
Oh, gosh, there is, all right, some bitterness, we understand. But, hey, that's a tremendous story. And those pictures of you, what year was that, by the way? If we can see that one more time.
This was the height of the war, 68, 69.
Did you cross paths with John Kerry by any chance, Senator, now Secretary of State John Kerry?
I didn't. He was on swift boats, were larger boats offshore. I was in the small boats. You ever saw Apocalypse Now? If you ever saw that movie? I was in those little plastic boats.
Wow. Ed, what was it like for you when you returned?
Well, I'll give you one small anecdote. I went back to graduate school because I couldn't get a job. So I went to graduate school, and there were only 35 people in my class. And there's me on the river. I was only 35 people in my class, and when the dean said, and Ed Vick is one of us, and he just came back from Vietnam. Okay, long story short, nobody in that class spoke to me for 2 months.
Wow.
They didn't say anything to me.
What school was this?
This was, I shouldn't say, I don't want to say.
Well, let's get it out there. Enough time has gone by.
I got a master's in journalism at Northwestern, and I never used it.
It was the climate of the country at that time.
It was the climate of the country. It was. And Vietnam veterans were The USS New York.
The crew of the USS New York. Oh, my goodness. The USS New York, by the way, is docked here in the city, right next to the Intrepid Sea, Air and Space Museum. And the New York is very special. It's one of the newest vessels in the Navy. And, of course, that World Trade Center steel, Rosanna, takes up a huge chunk of the front of the ship.
Which is fantastic. We could go see it while it's in town. It's parked right, or parked. It's docked right next to the Intrepid.
Yeah, it's open, actually, to the public till 4 o'clock today. And I think for the next couple of days, we'll give you that information. Definitely 4 o'clock today. You can go see the USS New York.
A beautiful ship.
Let's check in with Antoine Lewis. He is a special guest.
Hi, Greg. Yes, we do have a special guest. We have two, Greg, with us. We're talking to the people from Drexel Hamilton. Jerry Majetic is here, as well as Cal Quinn. You all have made a point of hiring veterans when they come back. Just talk to us about the importance of doing that.
Yes, sir. We have found how important it is to basically give veterans a career opportunity versus just a job. We find employment, we train, we help find employment for the future, for themselves and their families. We don't want veterans staying at home thinking about their problems or thinking about what opportunities aren't there. So we help show them the opportunities that are lying in front of them.
Jerry, I'm going to let Joe get in and get a shot of these medals on your chest here. Tell us about your service, sir, as you smile there.
Well, I did 4 years in the United States Marine Corps and then 15 and a half years in the United States Army. I spent about 5.5 years altogether in Iraq. I loved what I did and would have done it for another 15, but I had a bad day.
Well, we're glad to see you, and thank you so much for your service. Cal, when you hear stories like this and you talk about the people that are coming back that need jobs, you all have made it a point to say, you know what, we have jobs for you.
That's right, and they're a valued commodity. Here in New York and throughout the country today, people are remembering veterans, honoring them. Our message is a little bit different, and that's one of restoration, right? Over the last 12 years, we're yielding 2 times as many disabled veterans than we have in any other period of our modern military history. And Cornell IRL School did a study and found that they were unemployed at a rate of 41%. Nearly half of them unemployed, right? But, more than that, and probably worse than that, we've lost more veterans to their own hands than we have to the hands of the enemy over the last 12 years. That's a significant problem. At Drexel Hamilton, we are a service-disabled, veteran-owned broker-dealer and investment bank, and our message is one of restoration of veterans like Jerry back to their rightful places of leadership within society, within their communities, but most of all, as a provider within their family. Giving them the opportunity, access to the American dream that they've forfeited so much for and left so much of themselves on the battlefield. Access to that American dream through their own hard work, their own sacrifice and effort, they can gain financial prosperity for themselves and their family.
Cal, thank you so very much for all that you are doing at Drexel Hamilton. Thank you again for your service, sir. My best to you and your family. All right, more of America's Parade from Manhattan when we come back, but first, a message right here for you.
My name's Joe Moore, served in the Army. I'd like to thank all the veterans out there for protecting and serving our country.
My name's Matthew Harris, United States Army. Just want to say Happy Veterans Day to all brothers and sisters in uniform.
My name is Reuben Wright. I'm a United States Marine. I would like to thank all the men and women for their sacrifice and service to this country. And I would like to say Happy Veterans Day.
Hi, I'm Mayor Eric Garcetti of the City of Los Angeles. I'm here today at the New Directions facility that is housing formerly homeless veterans. Here in Los Angeles, we have too many homeless veterans on our streets, or living in cars, or under freeways. And today we've done something to make sure that they have a place to live. But as somebody myself who's worn this nation's uniform, as a member of the United States Navy Reserve Component right now, I want to thank every airman and woman, every Marine, every soldier, and every sailor who has put on this nation's uniform to serve our country. You protect our freedoms. I'm proud to be one of you, and I'm proud today to celebrate the service that you have given our country. So fight on, keep going. Thank you for your service, and God bless you.
New York City, but seen around the country.
The American Legion, this is post 460, the New York Police Department post, the American Legion. I'll tell you a little bit more about them. The American Legion was chartered and incorporated by Congress back in 1919. It is the largest vets organization in the world.
2 million members. 2 million
actually,
members and 14,000 posts.
I believe they made the original GI Bill happen. They were influential in that. A very important step.
There's also a chapter. There's also a chapter in Paris. In fact, that was the very first meeting of the American Legion was in Paris.
Well, you may be wondering what the history is of the Veterans Day Parade, of America's parade. I think we have the person to help us with that today.
Person.
Well, have you ever heard of the History Channel? Of course you have. It's one of the greatest channels on TV. We have with us Libby O'Connell. She is the Chief Historian and Senior Vice President for Corporate Outreach at the History Channel. Welcome. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much.
We think if there's anybody qualified to give us a little history lesson today, it is you, Libby.
I'm happy to do it.
All
I'm
right,
happy
so
to do it.
Get us up to speed.
Okay, so November 11th, 1918 was the Armistice Day. That was when people laid down their arms in World War I. It wasn't the final treaty, but it was when there was a total ceasefire. And from that day on, that became Veterans Day. First, it started off as an observance for the World War I veterans. And on 1919, a year after the Armistice, was the first Veterans Parade right here in New York City. Started down Madison Square, like it did this morning. So we are reenacting that whole thing. That was a long time ago. And in just a few years, it's going to be 100 years later, in 2018.
Wow.
So New York has been great about observing Veterans Day. It was always about World War I veterans, though, until President Eisenhower. Of course, he was a veteran of World War II, and he said, you know what? All veterans deserve this day. So let's change the name from Armistice to Veterans Day. And that's when it becomes the federal holiday that includes everyone who has served in the military.
And he was the man to do it. He, I believe, fought in World War I as well.
Yes,
correct?
he did.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah.
And Libby, you come from a family of military vets as well, right?
Well, my mom worked in the OSS during World War II. She was a decoder. And my father was World War II anti-aircraft in the European theater. So he was handling those big artillery guns.
Well, we're crazy about the History Channel.
Thank you.
We know you're not here to tell us about any new upcoming shows, although we hope some are in the pipeline. But there's something else you wanted to talk about. Thank a Vet.
I do. We've had a campaign now for several years called Thank a Vet, inviting companies to join us in thanking their employees who are veterans. And now we have 500 companies around the country that have joined us. We provide free materials for them to do that. They can get stickers, they can get buttons.
How do you thank a vet? You just say thank you? I mean, is there anything else?
One important thing is to recognize them and say thank you for their service. And just take that time out of your day. You know, so many of us are no longer in the military. It's a much smaller fraction of the population now. But we almost all are related to somebody who served or a neighbor or know someone. So take a moment out of your day-to-day to say thank you for your service.
And social media as well, right?
That's right. We're doing a campaign, hashtag Thank a Vet. And every time we get one of those tweets that come through, we're going to donate $1.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I'm sorry, the dollar's going to go where?
To two organizations. One's called Team Rubicon. That's a group of vets that do emergency relief. They do great work. They're going over to the Philippines right now. And the other one is for vet dogs, and they train service dogs for veterans.
How about the day off for veterans?
Take a veteran to work.
What do you think?
Well, I've got
that's a good
program.
idea.
I have Take a Veteran to School.
Take a veteran to school, I mean, yeah.
That's been a huge hit. We've got 5,000 schools around the country.
I love that idea.
From Guam to Staten Island. There are kids learning about
What a great idea.
oral history. They're learning about veterans. You know, I was at one event in Virginia on Friday. I don't know who had more fun, the vets or the kids. It was great. It was great.
Libby, real quick before we let you go, I mean, as the chief historian of the History Channel, do you sit around like watching the programming and then say, oh, we made a mistake here, we have to fix this? I mean, is that...
They don't make mistakes.
Does that ever...
We try, thank you, but we try to catch that before it goes. It's like being a good lawyer, right? You get it before it goes to court.
Well,
then they just say, that's history.
That's history. That sounds like a great gig. Libby O'Connell from the History
Thank
Channel.
you so much, you guys. Thanks for the time.
So great to meet you.
Nice
All right,
to meet
Elise,
you.
what's going on with you? Who are you talking to?
I'm here with Sal Scarlato and Ambassador Son. Sal is a Korean War veteran. Can you guys tell us the relationship of the Korean War and the ambassador, your relationship together?
Well, our relationship is very, very strong. As you all know, this year is the 60th anniversary of the alliance between the United States and Korea. But Mr. Song, the ambassador, the honorable ambassador, has been so very instrumental with all the Korean War needs and of our 60th anniversary. He's not only a friend, he's our comrade, friend, and a brother. We
How does
honor
that
him
make
as
you
a
feel
brother.
it being the end, the 60th anniversary of the end of the Korean War?
Oh, we feel very proud and honored that it ended, and our numbers are 10-10. 10 for 10 in the morning and 10 when the gun ceased fire.
And how about you? What does it mean to you?
So this year very special for both Korea and the United States, and the robust alliance of 60 years serve as the linchpin of peace and security in Asia Pacific region. So this has greatly contributed to the Korea's remarkable development. So now today Korea stands at the seventh largest trading partner of the United States. So also with the Korea-U.S. free trade agreement in this entering in the second year, so this alliance has evolved a comprehensive strategic alliance to encompass political, economic, and cultural, people-to-people realms.
Well, it's always a pleasure having you guys with us. Thank you so much.
Say something?
And we're all set. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's going on? This is Kobe Bryant, and I just wanted to say thank you to the women and men who serve our country so courageously and valiantly. And you guys are the heroes. You are our heroes, and you are our inspiration. And thank you so much for all that you do, and God bless.
Hi everyone, I want to say happy Veterans Day and thank you to all those who help serve and fight for our freedom in this country, and we wouldn't be who we are today without you guys, so appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey, this is Derek Stepan with the New York Rangers. I just want to say happy Veterans Day, and I want to thank everyone who served for us.
You're watching America's Parade here along Fifth Avenue in New York City. It is a beautiful day. Thousands of people lining the streets of New York City and over 20,000 marching in this wonderful parade.
And on a day like today, we are reminded that some did not make it home to this country to enjoy such a parade like this. Have you heard of Gold Star Families? A wonderful organization. Those who lost family, loved ones to war or to the aftermath of war. We are joined by three very, very special. We have with us, first of all, on my right, this is Emily Toro. I've got to know her over the past couple of years. She lost her son Isaac in Iraq. And Emily, it's so good to see you.
Yes, and Vivian Morsell, she's the president of Gold Star Wives.
And Ms. Milano, how are you? Nice to see you. Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
I understand you lost your brother.
Yes, my brother Stephen Pickett. He was private first class. He was killed in Vietnam, December 14th, 1967. Tunnel rat in Cu Chi.
Vivian, tell us about your chapter.
We're Arlington Gold Star Wives. We're unique because our husbands are laid to rest in Arlington National Cemetery, but we live all over the United States, and we leverage on technology to connect with each other. We are basically post 9/11 widows. We appeal to the post 9/11 widows. My role is I'm the president of Arlington Gold Star Wives.
You're at Gold Star Wives, but there are also Gold Star family members. Emily, you are a Gold Star mother.
Mother, yes.
What's today like for you?
It's great. I love this day. Not losing Isaac opened up my eyes to a whole new world. And being here is no better place to be than in New York City honoring our veterans.
Isaac was how old when he was lost?
He was 26.
What's it like being part of the Gold Star families? Is it a support system?
Yes, it is. It's a big support system. And we all get together and we talk about our children. And if it wasn't for the Gold Star parents, the family, Gold Star, I don't know what I would do.
You've been very active, right? And you've gone to Arlington, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole kind of life, a support system that you have been participating in. Isaac, by the way, does he have a birthday coming up?
Actually, yeah, his anniversary is coming up this month, 27.
What happened?
He was killed in Iraq. He was the driver. Him and the gunner went over an IED, and they were both killed instantly.
How often do you think of him?
Every day. Every day.
Vivian, tell us about your husband.
My husband, Lieutenant Colonel Rich Wursel Jr., he was United States Marine Corps, came back from his second tour of duty in Iraq and died suddenly 1 week later in Camp Lejeune. And at that point, it was never in the plan that he was not going to be around to watch the children grow up. We have 2 children. At that time, they were in middle school, so it was a big shock. But today, I am fortunate to be around other families and their children that are here today in the float. But there's many, many young widows and their children that we've bonded together to help each other to get through those challenging situations. It's unfortunate that a tragedy such as this has brought us together as a new family.
You're not only dealing with emotional support, but what about the financial support? Because a lot of these families are left devastated, losing the breadwinner in the family.
Unfortunately, our benefits have changed over the years. Just in the past 8 years, we've seen them go down. We still have issues we fight for in Congress, and that's one of the benefits of being a Gold Star wife. We have a legislative committee that we do work on trying to improve our benefits. And so we're going after them to make things fair. But it is a financial challenge. Many organizations are out there to help us. But it is a challenge because we weren't the breadwinners.
Thank you. Tell us about your brother.
My brother was 20 years old when he went over to Vietnam. He was only there for 7 weeks. He volunteered to be a tunnel rat in the tunnels of Cu Chi, and that's where he pulled out a North Vietnamese Cong flag. I was 13 at the time. He was my oldest brother. I had another brother serving in the Navy, Douglas Pickett, also at the same time, so he was brought home, thankfully.
You've seen his name on the wall?
I did. I have. It took me a very long time to go down there. We did the 25th anniversary of the Vietnam Veterans of the Wall down in 2007. And I was the deputy chairman with Pat Gualtieri doing the parade down there at that time. It was one of my greatest honors and blessings to be able to be involved. And and in this parade today, too. It's to be able to work with the veterans that are here with us and to remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, you know, is so meaningful because, you know, it's just, we owe them so much. You know, we owe them so much for our freedom. And thank you for your service. Thank you.
Thank you. No, not at all. No,
Yeah.
I have not served the way you 3 women have.
Yeah, you did.
The sacrifice that you have made.
I know.
What can we do to support Gold Star families?
Spread the word. Let everyone know that there is someone left behind. Not only a mother, a wife, a sister, a child. And let people know that we're here.
Also, too, talk to your congressman. Talk to Congress and say, you know, what about the survivors left behind to make sure that our benefits are improved and not taken away. But for those who are out there who are surviving spouse, we do have a website, www.Arlington Gold Star Wives. Also to Gold Star Wives, there is a website, and you can reach us through that.
And I'm sure there's a link for the Gold Star moms on that website.
There should be, yes.
So we'll make that happen.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do and your positive attitudes. Incredible, beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, Elise is with some special guests as well. Elise.
Hi, I'm here with Adam Driver, Emmy-nominated actor for HBO's Girls, former Marine, and founder of Arts in the Armed Forces. Adam, thank you for your service.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
Talk to us a little bit about Arts in the Armed Forces.
Yeah, it started in my third year at Juilliard, where I just come from the military with 1-1 Weapons Company, 81's Platoon out in Camp Pendleton, California, and really for the first time was exposed to playwrights and characters and plays that had nothing to do with the military at all, but were articulating experiences I had in the military that before to me were kind of indescribable. And kind of through theater, basically, I found a new way of expressing myself and finding language that I didn't have when I was in the military. And basically wanted to share that with a military audience who I saw friends who just really couldn't quite articulate themselves, and basically the fear and frustration and anger that came from that. So we kind of created a project that was very pared down. There's no sets, no costumes and lights, and just threw all the attention on the material. Pick really great plays with really great actors and perform these 2 or 3 minute speeches that have nothing to do with the military, but you know, kind of half of what a theater experience is.
Sure.
what the audience brings to it, and hopefully there's like a kind of a collective conversation that happens, and both communities are a little demystified a bit. So that's basically what it is, I think.
When's the next performance?
Tonight, actually.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. We're going to make sure everyone tunes in and goes to see the show.
All right, thank you.
We have a lot more to come along the parade route. Stay with us.
I had to stare down with death, and I won.
Gentlemen, from now on, we're going to have to earn our stories.
Here we go, boys!
Probably one of the most honorable places in America.
Let's go!
I'm proud to have served with each and every one of you.
History's full of wars that are fought for 100 different reasons. I have to believe that it's all worthwhile because our cause is just.
HBO does some of the best programming, particularly military programming. Band of Brothers, I think they did Generation Kill as well.
They did Taking Chance.
Taking Chance with
They did Taking Chance.
Kevin Bacon. That was
with
amazing.
Kevin Bacon. In fact, I actually at lunch 2 days ago, I actually met Chance's father.
The story Taking Chance was about, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a couple of years, but basically the casualty delivery system.
That's right.
A body, when it's removed from the battlefield, does not come home alone.
No.
In the Marine Corps, an officer or a fellow Marine is assigned, essentially, becomes the custodian
That's right.
of that fallen Marine and ensures that casket containing the remains is not molested, is not
That's right. Well,
put in a hangar and allowed to sit for days, gets it home as expeditiously as possible.
That's right. And that whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, that service member is dressed in his dress uniform before he's placed in his casket, and then he is escorted all the way home by an officer or a senior enlisted man who's assigned to do that. And
that must give some comfort to the family.
I think it does, and that story is Kevin Bacon plays the role of one of those escorts.
And
it's a great movie.
And the response from the public as Kevin Bacon is bringing this Marine home, civilians really stand up and step up.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you to HBO for letting us know what actually happens out there, and we get a better understanding.
HBO was a supporter. They've been a supporter of Vietnam veterans since the 70s. They've been huge supporters of veterans all along. It's not a new thing for them.
We're also crazy about Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's our favorite.
Antoine, meanwhile, is on the parade route with a very special guest. Antoine.
Thank you, Rosanna. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in again to our coverage of America's Parade. This year, the theme is saluting women in service. Joining me right now, a lady who knows a lot about that. Colonel Stephanie Dawson is here, VFW. We're talking about the contributions that women such as yourself have made to service. And how are you feeling today?
I feel excited. It's wonderful to be a part of this parade. I've been a part of the parade for many years, and to watch its growth and to see the diversity that's in evidence is amazing. And then to also be here today with General Dunwoody as the first 4-star in the military is amazing.
When you heard her speak and when you knew that she had achieved that rank and the first woman to do so, how did it impact you, Steph?
Well, actually, I met her many years ago when I was deployed for Operation Iraqi Freedom, and she was in charge of a large number of the units that worked with us. And actually, it was amazing then when she was a 2-star, and when we heard that she's a native New Yorker and the first 4-star, it was truly amazing.
Thank you so much for talking to us, for seeing you again this year. We'll see you next year, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Stephanie, that's going to do it from this side of Manhattan, and we're going to send it right now to break.
Hi, my name is Brad Meltzer, and to all the veterans out there, let me say the most important thing I can say, and that is thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do for our country. It means more than we can ever express. We don't just remember you on the big days, on Veterans Day. We remember you every day. We always are thinking of you, and thanks for what you've done for us.
Hello, this is Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake. Baltimore is home to thousands of veterans who have sacrificed life and limb in service to America. Today, we honor their sacrifice and say thank you on behalf of a grateful nation. Maryland has a rich history of battlefield monuments that define the true character of our residents. And here in Baltimore, we know how important it is to honor our veterans each and every day. It's important we all chip in to lend a hand. We owe those who sacrificed nothing less than a peaceful and smooth transition back to civilian life. We know that with their skills and experience, veterans are a great resource and can make major contributions to Baltimore's ongoing success. We're proud to be a part of these festivities, and we're proud of our veterans.
Baltimore salutes our veterans!
All right, the mayor can watch us in Washington, D.C. on My 27 right now.
Tune in. Yeah, Baltimore's close enough to D.C.
Yeah, and there's also the Baltimore My TV Baltimore. Right?
Welcome back to America's Parade as we watch Vietnam Veterans of America, a contingent from the Vietnam Veterans of America. Ed Vick joins us.
My brothers!
This is Ed Vick, by the way. He is a Vietnam veteran, served in the Navy. Ed, how are you?
I'm great. It's great to see some of my brothers walking. You know, the first parade after Vietnam was about 5 groups, and they had to stop at all the stoplights, and there were shoppers were on the street. That's all.
It was a different time back then. Everybody was so anti-war. You had singers talking about it, singing about it. You had actors and actresses talking out against it.
There are a lot of people who are against the war even today, but what we see that's different is they're not against the troops. And I think back then it seemed like there was some hostility directed at those fighting the war.
Boy, Greg, you make a terrific point. And the irony of that is that a lot of the people fought the Vietnam War were draftees, while these wars, it's all volunteers. Basically, it's
interesting.
Volunteer army.
Major change. All right, stay with us as we enjoy the parade. First, though, we'll go to our Elise Zwick. She is a special guest. Hi, Elise.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elise. I'm here with Bill Nelson and his beautiful wife, Marguerite. Bill is the former CEO of HBO, and they are a huge sponsor of the Veterans Day Parade. Can you tell us a little bit about HBO's involvement in the parade and what you've done for us throughout the years?
Yeah, sure, I'll be happy to. First off, it's a privilege to be here today at the parade, and great to see such a tremendous turnout. Yeah, HBO basically has done many things in support of the parade. We always had a float. We were one of the early companies here in New York, our home base, to step forward and support this effort. As you know, we used our core competency, creative excellence, and made a number of great films that showcase the service and sacrifice of our armed forces. Band of Brothers was an example of that, Taking Chance, and on, Baghdad ER. So the company, which has a lot of veterans working in it, is very proud to be part of a company that extends itself to support this parade and to support our veterans and certainly our active military personnel.
And what does being here mean to you?
It means the world. It's so great to see how this parade has grown and the recognition that all our veterans deserve, they're finally receiving. So it's a thrill.
Well, it's always a pleasure to see you guys along the parade route, and you're just in general at every veterans event, you're always there. So thank you for your service and yours as well.
Well, thank you so much, Elise. Thank you. Thank you.
Stay with us. We have a lot more ahead on 5th Avenue.
Hi, I'm John Lithgow, just to say how proud I am of all of you. If you're out of the country, carry on, and if you've come back, welcome home and thanks.
From the U-Haul team to our nation's military families, happy Veterans Day.
It's called the Stolen Valor Law.
We are saluting our veterans today, those who are present and those. Hi, nice to see you.
How are you?
And those, thank you. A lot of people like Fox 5, so that's good.
Excited Vietnam veterans over there. Great stuff. In that bandstand off on the right, you will see, if you look closely, General Ray Odierno. He is right now the Chief of Staff of the Army. He is in charge of the Army. And who do we have here? Let's turn up the volume a little bit.
Today is a day to be thanking everybody. I want to thank my two co-hosts today who served in the military. Ed, give us a little background about your service in Vietnam.
Before we do, a quick shout out to, let's see, that's Rocky Lynn and Corey Brunson. Hope I got that right. Great sound, sir.
Okay. Ed, tell us a little bit about your service.
They were great. I spent 1 year on an ammunition ship off the coast of Vietnam, and then I volunteered for the River Patrol Force, which was sort of tricky business. It was most of the Mekong Delta, everything travels by water, and our job was to interdict the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese, and I was there 68, 69. It was a terrific experience. The boats were really cool. The little, if you saw Apocalypse Now, those little plastic boats in Apocalypse Now.
I don't think there's anything cool about those boats, but okay. Somebody who watched Apocalypse Now, I'm scarred from seeing that.
They got the boats right. Did they get anything else right in that movie?
No, you know what? Apocalypse Now, you know what it was like? It was like if you'd been there and then you had a nightmare about it. That would be the movie.
It seemed pretty surreal at times.
It was. Yeah. No, very professional.
And Greg Kelly, you know, I work with him every day, and I salute him as often as I possibly can. He is a Marine, because you're never a former Marine, correct?
No, you're never a former Marine. Rosanna, you have picked up a few things over the years.
Yeah.
This, by the way, is the late 90s. Actually, it's April of 98. I believe this is just prior to flying a mission over Iraq. We're based in Kuwait. We flew over Iraq in Operation Southern Watch, enforcing the no-fly zone. And I got to tell you, I was a little tense. You might pick it up in that picture, because we were flying over.
You flew Harrier jets, which, I mean, Ed, you could probably talk about this a little bit more than I could, but Harriers are like...
He was cool. Yeah, they go up like this and they wobble and everything. He understates it like all Marines do. He had to be a cool customer to do it.
Oh, hey, I'll embrace that. Hey, thanks so much. Thank you, Rosanna.
Thank you both.
Carry
on.
That was a salute.
Thank you. I like that. All right, let's talk to Elise right now. What's going on where you are?
Hey guys, I'm with Fang Wong, the former commander of the American Legion. Tell us about the American Legion and its mission.
The American Legion is the largest veterans organization in the United States. We were formed 95 years ago, 1919, and we have 4 basic pillars of mission. That is to support the veterans, maintain a strong national defense, promote Americanism, and then also children and youth. In doing that, we are very, very dedicated to support the veterans and their family, young and old. We are determined to maintain a strong national defense by building and helping the communities one at a time. And we are very devoted to pass on our knowledge and our tradition of freedom, justice, and democracy, and more importantly, the duty, honor, country to our next generation by having a lot of programs to help them and train them.
Sure. Thank you so much for being with us today and all that you do.
Okay, thank you.
So earlier today, we started the parade down at the wreath-laying ceremony and the opening ceremonies. We had a wreath-laying ceremony. We honored our VIPs and our Grand Marshals. We're going to head on down there and take a look at what we saw.
We've come a long way in 94 years, and we have the people here to prove it. We are honored to have recipients of the Medal of Honor dating back to World War II.
To hire 200 honor and remember the service.
Indeed, we are blessed by the service and sacrifice of the 48 million men and women who have given so much, who symbolize the very best of humanity.
Hi, I'm Reggie Jackson, and I'd like to take this time to thank our veterans for protecting our freedom for our great country. Thank you so much for your service.